Welcome back. As the 2024 Lok Sabha polls near, politics in Tamil Nadu is witnessing a lot of twists and turns. Suspended AIADMK member Jayalalitha's a very close aide VK Sasikala here exudes confidence in reuniting with the party ahead of the general elections. Now, in an exclusive conversation, Sasikala cited that former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.G. Ramachandran's approach of collaborating with the central government. Sasikala even went on to say that the position becomes even more significant in the light of OPS's expulsion along with his supporters from the AIADMK. Now, party chief EPS had also pulled out of the BJP alliance. Now, firstly, of course, now it remains to be seen as to what Sasikala and TTP Dinakaran are going to do next and what the future holds for the BJP AIADMK alliance. Meanwhile, the AIADMK here also took a jibe at Sasikala, saying that it's absolutely laughable that somebody who's not even a part of the party is commenting on the AIADMK and its future. Let's listen into this exclusive conversation firstly with Sasikala and then the rebuttal as well.
Ma'am, first of all, and BJP and NDA கூட்டணியில இருந்து அதிமுக பிரிஞ்சது பத்தின உங்களோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரியாக்ஷன் என்ன மேம்? EPS வந்து அந்த கூட்டணியில இருந்து வெளியே வரணும்னு முடிவு பண்ணது பத்தின உங்களோட ரியாக்ஷன்?
என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் எங்களுடைய தலைவர் புரட்சி தலைவர் அவர் அடிக்கடி சொல்லுவார், அதாவது வந்து மத்தியில் யார் இருந்தாலும் ஏதாவது ஒரு கட்சியோட நாங்கள் இணைந்து செயல்பட்டிருக்கோம். இன்னும் தேர்தலுக்கு வந்து டைம் இருக்குது. அதுக்குள்ள ஒரு அவசரமான முடிவு எடுக்க வேண்டிய தருணமே இது இல்லை அப்படிங்கிறது தான் என்னோட கருத்து.
மேம், ஓபிஎஸ் வந்து கடந்த ஒரு மாசமா வந்து பாஜகவோட நேஷனல் ஹைகமாண்ட்ல இருந்து தேசிய தலைமையில இருந்து அவருக்கு கால்ஸ் கண்டினியூஸா வருதுன்னு சொல்லியிருந்தாரு. அந்த மாதிரியான கால்ஸ் உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது வருதா? பாஜகவோட தேசிய தலைமை உங்ககிட்ட ஏதாவது அணுக முயற்சிக்கிறாங்களா?
நீங்களாம் இதே ஊரில் தானே இருக்க போறீங்க, அதனால எது இருந்தாலும் உங்களுக்கு ப்ரெஸ்ஸுக்கு சொல்லாமல் நான் செய்ய மாட்டேன்.
இது வரைக்கும் கால்ஸ் வரலையா மேடம்?
அது எந்த நேரம் வருமோ அந்த டைமில் நான் பேசுகிறேன் அதை பற்றி.
நீங்கள் பாஜக, டிடிவி சார் ப்ளஸ் ஓபிஎஸ் நீங்கள் எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து ஒரு கூட்டணிக்குள்ளே போகிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்குங்களா?
என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்குமா அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் அதை முதல்ல ஒருங்கிணைக்கணும். அந்த வேலையில் தான் நான் தீவிரமாக போயிட்டுருக்கேன்.
Well, Anurag Naidu, political analyst, is with us. Apsara Reddy from the AIADMK, Dr. Narayan Lakshman, associate editor, The Hindu, also is with us. I'll open this up with a journalist. Dr. Narayan, how do you really read this? Because, of course, you've been a veteran there. You've read Tamil Nadu politics for multiple years. This particular statement at such a juncture, what do you make of it?
Well, Deepak, I think it's interesting because obviously everyone's got their eye on the 2024 Lok Sabha election, and chess pieces are being moved on the board with the view to winning that election. I find it rather unusual that, in a way, that Sasikala and OPS are making these public statements now, speaking on behalf of the AIADMK, because as we know, there was a long and arduous court battle, which it was actually EPS who won and has been anointed the General Secretary of the party. And these are essentially people outside of the party speaking for the party's prospects, if not speaking for the party itself. But I think what is interesting here, Deepak, is that you're witnessing a party which went through enormous sort of convulsions and changes in the aftermath of Jayalalitha's passing, because leadership, essentially, there was a vacuum and it was contested. A clear winner has emerged. Yet, even for that winner, that is EPS, to prove himself, despite having been chief minister for a while and having a record in governing the state, to prove himself for the first time at the hustings, at the polls, is going to be a challenge, because the DMK has firmly stayed on the side of Dravidian politics and has held firm and has been a voice speaking out against the BJP's brand of politics. The AIADMK, on the other hand, is trying to has had a difficult time picking one over the other. Yes, today's statement is we will stay away from the BJP. We will not be part of that alliance. That is the statement from EPS and his quarter. But whether that will hold or not is to be seen, because he is not a party, the AIADMK main wing, if you can call it that, or the main party, does not maybe have such deep pockets to finance an election campaign as the BJP support could bring to it. Yet it is also torn between, should it align with the saffron side, with Hindutva politics, or will that be seen by voters as a betrayal of the Dravidian ethos?
Let's ask the AIADMK what they really feel about these sort of statements, both from OPS, now from Sasikala, breaking her silence about this, breakaway from the NDA, Apsara Reddy. What do you make of it?
First of all, I must tell you, Deepak, that Sasikala and OPS are not part of the AIADMK firmament. In fact, all the cadres, all the relevant politicians, and Tamil Nadu itself, people of Tamil Nadu itself have recognized Mr. Edappadi Palanisammy to have given a great government, the Amma template of governance, and that is reflected in the vote percentage with which we lost the elections, only about 3%. And despite of 10 years anti-incumbency, Amma not being there, Mr. OPS, kind of batting for the DMK, we still managed to have this many MLAs and only lose the election with 3% vote percentage in 2021. And Sasikala madam or Mr. OPS can make tall claims of uniting AIADMK, of doing whatever politics they want to do, but they can actually align together and fight the elections, and they will know what the people of Tamil Nadu think of them. And if OPS was such a great leader, or Madam Sasikala was such a great leader, people would have aligned with them. Obviously, they're left irrelevant in Tamil Nadu. And with the previous speaker's observation about AIADMK going it alone and will they succeed in elections without BJP's deep pockets, so is he trying to imply that DMK has far deeper pockets than AIADMK? If so, how? Is my question. And also, I think under Mr. Edappadi, the leadership of the AIADMK has been very decisive in terms of every protest we do against the government, or the kind of the action-packed statements issued against BJP.
Is there a reason to worry?
He's very decisive. I don't think he wants to...
Apsara Reddy, is there a reason to worry? Because you said, of course, just 3% of the vote share that you lost last time around to the DMK. But if Sasikala and then you have OPS, if they're actually looking at these options of probably coming together, how do you really see it affect the AIADMK, the core of it?
Not at all, because if OPS or Sasikala were such strong leaders, we would have seen some kind of ripples by now. I think Sasikala, madam, has been out of jail for quite some time now, and she's been doing all kinds of tours. Mr. OPS has been trying to make all kinds of noise, and even in his own constituency of Theni, there's not been an outburst. So they'll absolutely be rendered politically irrelevant, and I think in time to come, you will be around to notice that Edappadi sir will come back as Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu.
Anurag, how are you looking at all of these developments that are taking place? The BJP seems, at least if you go by what OPS says, is in constant touch with him. So when he has nothing to do really with the affairs of the party, what's the point? As far as when Sasikala was asked that question, he does not say much.
Is that question to me, Deepak?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, Deepak, look, I mean, it is definitely for the BJP party to officially tell about their organizational stand. But, what I can see from this is AIADMK after this, after this call, which I believe is a very autocratic call taken by EPS. And it is not it's not a clarion call in a sense that taking into consideration all party leaders. And naturally, there is a section of the party that is feeling disenchanted, that is feeling disenfranchised by the kind of ideological fight that they were putting together with the BJP for so many years. And they feel that it is kind of a backstab because, all these leaders who have won as an MLAs, or people who have been working as a cadre for the AIADMK have kind of local adjustments made with the BJP in some seats. And naturally, the BJP also has brought in a lot of strength in many seats. They have brought in a strength when it comes to the narrative, the kind of narrative that Tannamalai has been able to peddle. That is something that EPS has not been able to do it. If somebody is speaking, Apsara is speaking about EPS, I definitely challenge them to tell me one movement that the EPS has been able to built against Mr. Stalin over the last 1.5 to 2 years. It is impossible to do for them. There's a reason why it's not possible for them to do is they lack that kind of a narrative, they lack that kind of a media outreach, they lack that kind of a confidence that BJP brings in, that kind of a muscle that BJP brings in, that kind of a strength that BJP brings in, that kind of a data analytics. Now look at the kind of data that Annamalai puts out. Look at the quality of the argument that Annamalai puts out. I don't think EPS even in hundreds of years can do it. So they need to acknowledge that what they've lost or what they've done is a grave mistake for AIADMK. And what I feel is AIADMK as a whole party is not going to be approving of this fact. And that is why you see, when Sasikala or OPS are putting out some statements, it is a reflection of a lot of majority of the party workers, or maybe I won't say a large section, but there is definitely some section of the party workers who are in touch with Sasikala. And I mean, nobody can challenge that. There are people who are in touch with Sasikala who are still with EPS. There are people who are in touch with OPS. So I think things are not normal. There is an inner core of the party who is looking out for a tall leader who can bring in narrative. India now, Tamil Nadu has got a good exposure of the Prime Minister Modi's image. They've got a good exposure of what BJP really stands for, because back in the days, they were not any ambassador for BJP to promote the ideology.
Let's have Apsara Reddy, because you made multiple charges that the leadership lacks the luster that it had. Apsara Reddy, I want you to respond to that quickly.
Couple of points, Deepak. I think first of all, I think we're giving BJP in Tamil Nadu far too much weightage. I think their vote share is below 3%, if I'm not wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And Mr. Annamalai is a new entrant who, well, when he's talking about, within AIADMK, they're fishers. I think within BJP, look at the kind of media noise that comes out of BJP with the senior leaders not agreeing with the style of leadership of Mr. Annamalai, number one. Number two, I think Annamalai's leadership is questionable, because when you're in alliance with AIADMK, and when AIADMK is a larger party in the state with a track record of winning multiple elections, and Mr. Annamalai has not won a councillor election, but he's commenting about Madam Jayalalitha, Mr. Annadurai, whose name finds a mention in our party's name. How will there be cohesiveness at the grassroots level? And AIADMK has such a huge cadre base, and we're spread across the state. Mr. Annamalai is trying to grow his party. Good luck to him. But without the support of AIADMK, I think BJP is rendered rudderless in Tamil Nadu, and I think the elections will go to prove that. I'm not questioning their style of leadership. That's their style of leadership. But when you're part of an alliance, there's a certain dharma expected in terms of the language that you use and the kind of collaborative effort that you put out there to win the elections. And I definitely feel it's no great loss for AIADMK. And I think because of BJP being under the AIADMK umbrella, they've got 4 MLAs in 2021. The results will be disastrous for the BJP, not for AIADMK.
Okay, Dr. Narayan Lakshman, how do you really view this? Because on one hand, the BJP has been talking about how there hasn't been any top leadership in AIADMK to really look forward to. Yes, quickly, if you could make that, I want to ask Dr. Lakshman something.
Deepak, one point. Yeah, just one point quickly.
Go ahead, quickly.
I think the previous speaker challenged us to say, what have we done against the DMK? What have we done against the DMK? What movement have we been able to do? Every protest that we do, every Kandana Arbatam that we do, even our Manada which happened in Madurai, the public meeting that happened in Madurai, we had lakhs of people.
But this is precisely the point. I wanted to ask this to Dr. Lakshman. If the AIADMK is really setting the narrative in Tamil Nadu enough, and are they doing enough to really have that face project itself as the principal opposition which you are? But is the BJP really stealing most of the limelight? And now, with them being in touch with OPS, with them being in touch with, Sasikala, does that cause any reason to worry for the original AIADMK or the now AIADMK is the question? Dr. Lakshman.
Well, I think some of the comments passed earlier were quite laughable and out of touch with reality, because Annamalai has just been making a lot of noise. To the point where our understanding based on ground reportage is that he's been chastised by the internal sort of leadership structure of the party, or at least the brakes have been put on his whatever plans he had in terms of telling him to stop literally trampling on people's feet. Because when, like Mr. Reddy said, when you talk about CN Annadurai, who is considered a hallowed leader of the Dravidian movement, which both parties, the DMK and the AIADMK, respect and in fact claim the inheritance and mantle to in terms of political values. When you do that, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot. So far from what Mr. Naidu said, I think he's proved to be quite a novice, that is Mr. Annamalai, and has not really done the party BJP much credit in the state. Especially when it was actually trying to make an inroad by an alliance with the AIADMK that has now come to naught. So that is a serious problem. And the second point is, look, it cannot be denied that EPS is not of the stature of leadership of his own party that Jayalalitha was, that MGR was, and indeed that even Karunanidhi was on the other side of the fence. And Mr. Stalin, of course, is trying to prove himself in the same manner that Mr. EPS tried to prove himself in governance, in terms of governing the state, bringing good policies and governance to the state and actually helping it navigate various crises. So Mr. EPS will continue to rely only on that because that is the only thing he has. The second big factor, obviously, is the caste factor and the internal alliances and whether Mr. EPS can also prove his leadership mettle by ensuring that the AIADMK cadre are actually firmly behind him. That will actually be the critical make or break for him. The BJP joining or not, I'm sorry, yes, they have four seats perhaps, but they are not by any stretch one of the major players in the state, and they will not be unlikely to be, let me say, in the Lok Sabha election coming up.
Okay, well, the BJP does not really play a big role at all in Tamil Nadu. That is what Dr. Lakshman had to say. But of course, the BJP, meanwhile, believe otherwise. Meanwhile, there's a lot happening within the AIADMK. It's going to be interesting, of course, how 2024 is going to be. I thank all our panelists for, sharing your insight into this, news break that, of course, we exclusively got here at Mirror Now, that conversation with Sasikala. And I'm once again thanking all of y'all. And with that, it's a wrap. On the other side, Shreya Dondial brings you the urban debate. Stay with Mirror Now.